often ask a question. It's easy to talk about being happy. On the other hand, how can I remain happy over time? Life has ups and downs. How can I deal with these things? Well, I'm a Buddhist. I'm not a religious Buddhist, I'm a philosophical Buddhist. So let me just give you a little my view of Buddhism. Buddha was brought up rich. His father was a king. Buddha was protected from life. His father kept thinking he would be happy if he got more. He lived in a bubble. Buddha was able to sneak outside of this bubble 3 times. The first time, what did he learn? People get old. Oh, not so good. Second time, people get sick. Ooh, even worse. Third, people die. Old, sick, and die. Buddha realized all that I will be happy when I have more stuff didn't work. He went into the woods. He tried to be happy with less. He starved himself. You know what he learned? That didn't work either. Finally, Buddha had a great realization. What was it? You can never be happy with more. You can never be happy with less. There's only one thing you can ever be happy with in life, what you have. There's only one time you can ever be happy, now. And there's only one place you can ever be happy, here. When people ask me questions of how can I maintain permanent happiness, they are totally missing the point of Buddhism. Buddhism does not imply you need to be happy forever. Buddha says focus on one thing, be happy now. Be happy now. My Buddhist philosophy, where is nirvana? Right now, it's listening to a video of some old bald guy talk about Buddhism. This is it. It's not out there someplace. It's not next week. It's not next year. Be happy now. And there's only 1 second in life you ever need to learn to be happy. Now. Now, I'm from a small town called Valley Station, Kentucky, so it did not have a very large Buddhist population. So I'm often asked, where did I develop my interest in Buddhism? Well, I've been studying Buddhist philosophy now for over 50 years, and I've read over 400 books on Buddhism and Buddhist philosophy. So I've studied far more about Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy, than I've studied about getting my PhD in organizational behavior. To me, I became a student of Buddhism not because I was converted to something. Now again, I'm not a religious, I'm a philosophical Buddhist. Buddhism represented to me what made sense in life. What I like about Buddhism is the acceptance of what is. Rather than going through life being upset because life is not what we thought it should be, it's the acceptance of what is, being able to forgive ourselves for being human beings, being able to forgive other people for being something different than we thought they should have been, being able to accept life it is. And in my coaching, I teach something that's very important to me called Feed Forward. Feed Forward is based on Buddhist philosophy. Buddha said, only do what I teach if it works for you. If it doesn't work in the context of your life, it's okay, just don't do it. Well, in Feed Forward, I teach everyone that I coach to ask for input. Not feedback about the past, ideas for the future. And then I teach them to shut up, listen, take notes, and say thank you. Don't judge and critique. To treat this as a gift. And what I teach them is based on what Buddha said. Look, if it works for you, do it. If it doesn't work for you, don't. Never promise people you're going to do everything. Leadership's not a popularity contest. No one has any expectation that you're going to do everything. Just promise to listen to people. Thank them for their inputs. And say, I'm going to do what I can. That's all I ever ask the leaders I coach to do. I've coached many of the most influential leaders around the world. I've taught Feed Forward to over 1 million people around the world. And I pretty much always love it. Why? It's positive, it's simple, it's focused, and it's based on that Buddha philosophy of do what works for you. Don't judge and critique things. Listen, thank people, be grateful, look at it as a gift, and then do what works for you. You know, as a final message, I'd like to finish with the message that I think is most important. If you learn nothing from me but what I'm going to say next, it's going to be very positive. I want you to imagine you're 95 years old. and you're just getting ready to die. You're on your deathbed. Here comes your last breath. Right before you take the last breath, you're given a beautiful gift. The ability to go back in time and talk to the person who is listening to me right now. The ability to help that person be a better leader. Even more important, the ability to help that person have a better life. What advice would the wise 95-year-old you, who knows what matters in life and what does not matter, what was important and what was not important, what advice would that wise old person facing death have for the you that is listening to me right now? Just want you to breathe and think. What advice would that old person have? Whatever you're thinking now, do that. Some friends of mine interviewed old folks who were dying and got this question: what advice would you have? On the personal side, 3 themes. Theme number 1, 3 words: be happy now. Not next week, not next month, not next year. The Great Western Disease, sweeping Japan. I will be happy when I get the money, the status, the designer clothes, the car, the condominium. I will be happy when. We all have the same when. That old person facing a death, that is when. A learning point from old people: I got so busy chasing what I did not have, I could not appreciate what I did have, and I had almost everything. Learning point number 2, friends and family. Never get so busy climbing that corporate ladder of success that you forget the people that love you. That is always a big mistake. And when you're 95 years old, they are the only people that are going to be there, not your coworkers. And finally, if you have a dream, go for it. Because if you don't go for it when you're 35, you may not when you're 45, and you probably won't when you're 85. It doesn't have to be a big one, maybe a little one. Go to New Zealand, speak Spanish, play guitar. Other people think your dream is silly. Who cares? It's not their dream, it's your dream. It's not their life, it's your life. Business advice, not much different. Number 1, life is short, enjoy yourself. If you can't enjoy yourself where you are, leave. Try to find someplace else to go. And maybe not immediately, but start looking to train yourself, develop yourself. Go someplace else. Number 2, do whatever you can do to help people. And it has nothing to do with money or status or getting ahead. The main reason to develop people, to do all the stuff I teach about in my classes, has nothing to do with that. The reason is much deeper. The 95-year-old you will be proud of you because you did, and disappointed if you don't. If you do not believe this is true, interview any CEO who has retired. I've interviewed very many and asked them a question: what are you proud of? None ever told me how big their office was or how much money they made. All they ever talked about is the people they helped. The final advice is go for it. The world is changing. Your country is changing. Do what you think is right. May not win, at least you tried. Old people, we seldom regret the risk we take and fail. We usually regret the risk we fail to take. So finally, my mission in life is very simple. I hope by reading some of my books or listening to my videos, I help you have just a little better life. Thank you.